Okay, hi everybody. Yeah, so let's do a quick sync. Elad, want to go first?
Okay. I don't have much to update. I worked on the FIFA like World Cup integration. So it's just two plugins, nothing special for you. Like that's all.
Okay. Tanas?
So it's been Android TV. I'm trying to use. My task is to add UI Builder support for Android TV. I think I'm about 50% done. So the tasks are pretty much clear. So I'm trying to, I'm trying to get it done basically. When will it be available? Maybe it should be camera ready 2 to 3 weeks from now. But like, actually, I wanted to get it out of the way by the end of this week, but it will probably be next week. So UI Builder, Android TV, and Amazon TV.
I have something. I noticed that if we are using two player plugins, so we basically have an issue, and we always choose the first one that we will find in the plugins list. So you need to understand that we don't have the correct logic for now to open via URL scheme a specific player. It will just find the first one, and we'll try to play with this player.
Can't you define it?
So we did something with Atom Entry, and in the Atom Entry you have the plugin identifier if you want to choose it, but it will work only for Atom entries. Mm-hmm. And if you want to use a URL scheme, you can do it. So just to be aware, we need to think what we want to do and how to, we need to be sync also with the iOS about it.
I'm sorry, you said you can't do it via URL scheme?
No.
Because as far as I understand, the Atom Entry was working like whenever there is a defined plugin, then use defined one. Otherwise, use the first one on the list, right?
If you have Atom Entry, so you can use the plugin identifier on the Atom Entry. But if you want to open it from a URL scheme, I don't know, from CMS or side menu or something like that, so you can do it.
Can't you just add the parameter on the scheme?
We can. We can do it, but it's like we need to be aligned with iOS and to see what we want to do, what we want to achieve, and to change the implementation there. We need to update it.
Okay.
That's all. I don't want to do it like without heavy grooming with Teams Up or I don't know.
Didn't Avi do it for both platforms?
No. So Avi tried to do it, but you have bugs there. It doesn't work. And we have it's work only for Atom entries, like that's all.
Okay.
This is what he did. I think this is what he requested to do. So maybe the task wasn't groomed enough, or I don't know.
Okay, so you want to set a grooming with iOS and everyone?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay.
It's not an urgent task for me, but I just want you to be aware about it, and we need to do it sometime.
Yeah.
So we need to schedule it. I don't know, like in our priority in the region, so I don't know what. Like, when we will do it, but think as soon as possible we need to do it.
Okay. Okay, Anna, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So I'm working at the moment on the pluggable advertisement, and the way I've done the part for the inline players, inline banners, and basically I've moved definition of the layout to the family level, so everything is on a family XML. So we don't stick like hard-coded values to the, I don't know, iPad margins or stuff like that. Yeah, this is me.
Okay, cool. Pablo?
I was working to update some plugins. So it should be a very simple task, but those plugins have very strange library dependencies. So I was struggling a lot. I still have this problem, and I detected.
Pablo, I saw that you sent the Slack. I just remembered. Did you manage to solve that issue?
No, but I know that the issue is with ProGuard because I deactivated totally and it's working. The strange thing is that when I'm using the source code, so with the project in Android Studio, it's working.
Yeah.
But if I use the closed version, it's not. So it's very strange. But I try to upload to Bintray a closed version without ProGuard, and it's working.
Yeah, it's related to the program. It's a multi-dex. It's a multi-dex issue, I guess.
No, it's either ProGuard or what happened to me once, which like a corrupt POM file, which like didn't upload the POM file correctly with all dependencies.
Yes, I know what it is because I worked on this before, Pablo, and it is actually not with us. We have two providers. One of them is Supplier and the other one is Analytics, and they need to communicate with each other. So the Analytics library is a work in progress, and the API is changing a lot. Like the second version doesn't have anything to do with the first version, completely different. So I think that they did their tests in a project that didn't have any plugins. So they didn't really test it without our configuration, like where you have one SDK and you have two plugins. So
why it's not compiled with without program, with program? Like
yeah, so the problem is that when we compile with ProGuard, it is hiding some interfaces that we don't know about. Yeah. So I had to reverse engineer to open the library, to rename it, to find the classes, to find the interfaces, in order to find all the to add the methods to ProGuard that we didn't own, and that the last one didn't expose properly. So this is the issue. It's not about our infrastructure. So if we had to be nasty, we could say, okay, fix your library, make it work. But like I spent some time and I found what it was, and then with the second iteration, they changed the interface. I added the ProGuard rules, but now I missed one thing with the Squadio, and this is why Pablo is having this problem.
Yes, but the strange thing is that if was just a ProGuard issue, also with your local version shouldn't work, because you should have.
We did that in ProGuard. Actually, we tried that one. We were trying to extract the methods from the jar, and it didn't work.
Yeah, the tricky thing about these couple of libraries is that it is not intuitive. You are trying to extract them in library A, for example, the player, but you actually need to extract them in the analytics library. So it's the other way around. And with this one, the intuitive place where you want the methods to be extracted won't be the library where you have to extract the methods. Yeah. When I extracted the methods, at any time I thought that I had to extract something in Squadio library, but it turned out that it had to be on the Broadpeak side. And the other way around, like if you are trying to extract Broadpeak, maybe it's Squadio where it needs to be extracted. It is something internal. You need to extract something internal. It is not something that we know about. So this is why it's making it difficult. And for Squadio, it's even more difficult because you have DRM and 1000 levels that are supposed to make it difficult for you to understand how the library works internally. So this is why it is so difficult.
And why is not an option to don't run ProGuard for that plugin?
For two reasons. Yeah, I wrote you, and the two reasons is that we don't want to pollute the namespace. So that's one reason. But the other is that audio is like, I think we may be legally obliged to obfuscate it. Maybe. Because we can't, I think I read something, but I don't remember. Like, maybe it was in the documentation or.
You know, Atanas, that you're a typical PhD.
I don't know whether this was a compliment.
Okay, so let's continue. Apart of that, I saw a problem that you had to add Google as repository, or if it wasn't the first in the list of Gradle, you should put the first just to raise this issue.
Like, so did you fix it? Like you added to the...
The thing is that for the SDK was already there, the first one, so the SDK was working. But for some
the SDK for Android wasn't working. I fixed it. I moved the Google app.
Okay, so you fixed it. Was the general app?
General app was working.
Yeah, general app was working. So if you have some plugin that are not working, maybe you need to put the Google repository the first.
Okay, nice.
Thank you.
And
anything else, Pablo?
no, that's all.
No? Okay, thank you. Who's next? Hani?
Hi.
Hi.
So I want to share with you something that I figured out a few days ago about Exoplayer and the URL that missing the path. Why are you laughing, Elad?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing? So I figured out that the Exoplayer looking for the path, which is which is anything comes after between the host to the parameters of the URL. So in my case, it was a different URLs which basically it's not. It's like a proxy between the actual stream to the app, and then it just the Exoplayer didn't find the path, and then it just crashed with can't play the format. It didn't recognize.
What, it tried to do a redirect or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. The redirect, but it's not regular redirect. It's like yeah. So basically, if any one of you like tackle with it in some point, Exoplayer is not supporting it.
So no, maybe we can. It must support it, but maybe we need to add something there.
No, yeah. So you have to change the URL to finish to end with the dot something, the format, like for MP4 or MU3U8.
Okay, let's talk about it after the tech talk.
Sure. So just if streams are not working and working in other place, they work. What else? I added the storefront for inline player articles. And I say articles because it's not the regular inline player, it's the inline player that that comes from the view, player view. Most of the time we are using it from the React Native. That's it.
What about the audio player, Hani? Is it ready?
Yes, it is.
So I can use it in Khan video, for example?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll try. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Hani.
I have another thing. We have a crash with the favorites in UI Builder. I know it's like something that we all know. So there's any update on it?
Like I have a list of I don't know how many bugs that I need to check. So this one is unfortunately one of the list. So if someone else needs it faster than me and can do it, I will appreciate it. But I don't think I will be able to address it even tomorrow.
I will try to take another look.
I took a look at it. I don't think it's something big.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, but if I will do it before you, I will I will update.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anything else?
No, okay.
Okay. Javier, want to go next?
Sure. Like Elad said, I've been also working on FIFA, Diva for both Android and iOS, trying to get particular screens and player functionality that we need for our clients working, and I think we got that all done. Really haven't worked on anything that has a wider scope that affects everyone. But I do want to add to what Elad said. I think we had to do hacks on both iOS and on Android, the Diva player, to make sure the Diva player redirects you to the Applicaster player or to whatever other plugin you might have instantiated for playback when you try to play a VOD. So because it always tries to do the first one, and Diva starts with a D, and well, obviously it always tries to open that one. I think a good solution might be in the future. We have these like enums saying default, undefined, YouTube, and 360. And obviously, if we were to add every single plugin we have of players, it will have like a million enums. That's not like the best solution. But if we could somehow through data source or through URL scheme, simply pass the identifier of the player plugin and just have it say, hey, give me this player if it exists. If it doesn't, then give me some reasonable default. That would solve this issue without us having to do some crazy tricks. But anyway, we could talk about that some other time.
I think Anna, I think you did something very similar on the article screen, no?
Yeah, we did, but we did that for the Atom, like Elad said, so.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, thank you.
Javier, let's talk, me and you later. I have some updates regarding to the FIFA widgets, okay?
Cool, sure.
Juan, do you want to go next?
Sure. Yeah. Last week I was stuck in a task with with an issue we are having in one of our apps related to the ID of the player. So now, I mean, in the version that the app worked, we had a piece of code. I will share my screen to illustrate better.
Mm-hmm.
Let me, okay, desktop one. See my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the older code that is working in our app is Mekongo, and this is a piece of code when getting the ID, and this is the code that is not working for Metcon Go, and we see that it's different, but the problem is not here. When we go in implementation, see here that is an external ID.
Mm-hmm.
And it says external ID overlaps Applicaster ID. So I talked to Tarek, I discussed with Javi and Ryan too, and well, we decided to discuss here in the Tech Talk to see if anyone knows about it. I found the pull request about it, and it was made for a guy that worked in the Latin team last year, and it says mix external ID and Applicaster SMS ID into only one ID for the Playable API, where the external CMS ID will be used in case it exists. And the thing is that this app, Mekong Go, has an external ID in their videos, and that's not wrong.
Why they have an ID?
Because they can use it for other purposes, for their own purposes.
They don't need to send it.
Why did they name it external ID? But
The purpose.
One sec. Let me give some background to this. There is a field in Applicaster 2 called external ID, okay, that we use for, like, it's being used correctly by Medcom, okay, and this is being used to mark, basically Medcom Go is ingesting their content into an external CMS, so they want to keep an external ID for identification purposes of, like, when I play this content in Applicaster, I want to have a reference back to the content in our CMS. That's perfectly fine. What's wrong here is this code assuming that we could use the external ID as the Applicaster model ID. So when you get Playable ID, it gets this external ID that makes no sense, and obviously we get a 404. All we want to do is delete this code. It was made by somebody that was in our team a year ago. We believe that this is incorrect, and if you look at the GitHub that the PR, even Ruben said, hey, this is wrong, do not do this. And somehow it got merged. We just want to make it available for everyone to see that we are going to remove this code, and I have no idea what it's going to break, but the usage of external ID is incorrect, and it must have been done as a hack. Sorry, I'm taking care of a baby that wants to fart into the mic. Yeah, this, like, I don't know why this was created. We don't have context for it, but clearly it's not being used correctly. External ID should exist, but it should never be used as the item's ID.
I hope it will not break anything, but
yeah, it will probably will, but Maybe it should.
I mean, I don't know. We can avoid that. We can. The thing is that Javier is making sense about get Applicaster model ID and not the external ID. Maybe we can do another method that get external ID. I don't know. But the other thing is that it in the older code, they check if it's an Applicaster model, and Javi and Rang told me that always is an Applicaster model.
Well, this the one above. All right, okay. But could you just remove that line with the boolean? What that boolean is for? Sorry, it's just a comment.
The what?
that boolean 276. What is that for?
No, this is the older code, so this is erased.
Lower.
Yeah.
No, never mind. It's just my. Sorry.
Well, here exists. So.
No. I'm talking 276, like above 277 and below 275.
Nice. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's gone now. Another piece of the puzzle that you guys are missing is that Tarek changed the part where we check is Applicaster model. He removed that, and instead he calls get playable ID, which is fine. But then the actual playable has a function to give you the external ID. That's the part that's wrong. And this is code from like more than a year ago. This has always been wrong. Nobody uses the external ID apparently except us, because nobody has run into this issue. And if it's going to break something, I guarantee you it's going to break something in our own apps. Look, external ID is not meant to be used this way. So if it breaks something, I think it should break something. And that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I also think so.
Yeah, I agree also.
Like, yeah, if it were like, I think that you should tell Boaz that you should do a good and wide tests on your apps, like Latam apps, because it's probably you are the one that will be affected by it.
I know
Yeah.
that Hot use this, but they are not our client anymore, so I don't care.
Okay.
By the way, Javier or Juan, I don't know who took that, but does anyone solve the issue with the Televisa TSP?
With the what?
With
It was
with the Atom article.
It was sent to them, so I'm waiting for them to do something about it, but we'll see how long it takes them.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's it for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see who's next.
Tarek, no? Tarek דיבר?
Tarek?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't do anything related to SDK, but I have one small update. The only thing I added is like the support for our horizontal list in the UI builder for our icon setter. So before, what I did, I think I have no idea if it's true, but you didn't really have the option to show icons on the horizontal list, but now you can. So this is the only thing I have added, and
Tarek, did you do that for the new family implementation?
Yeah, for the new family.
I hope this is the only component that have this issue.
Yeah, it's weird that you know, it may be like it worked before, or no one is using it. So once I used it, I discovered that there are no icons at all. But I hope that we have like this is the last component that needs it, and not like we should like to investigate. Maybe we have also more components that need the support of the icon setter for the new family interface.
Yeah, I think actually that it was added to the UI builder after the new family interface. I think that Meirav added it not so long ago. So that's
The one who added it is sitting next to you.
what?
The one who added it after is sitting right next to you.
Me?
To add.
Or to Meirav?
No, it's
Yeah, and he added it after Alex made the family interface. So yeah, I guess this is the reason we didn't support it yet.
So the only other components that were added are the React components, which are not relevant, right, for this. So I think it's
all the web view screen pickers, probably the inline banners at the moment, all the stuff like that doesn't only shows in which are not React Native.
Yeah, but the web view doesn't really need like icons and so on, so it doesn't really matter.
It does make sense that it doesn't have it.
okay. Okay, I don't have much to update. I have like an issue that I'm facing now that I guess that you will see on your apps. There is the rotation bug that we have for a long time. If you don't know it, it's when you have activity A on portrait and you open activity B on landscape, and then you kill it, the activity. Activity A rotate to landscape, portrait. For some reason on some devices, not all of them.
and only when the auto rotation is enabled.
No,
Huh? It's happen always,
yeah.
even though yeah, I never saw it. Okay, so it only when the auto rotation.
Yeah, it's happening only on some devices.
We thought this was an emulator bug. I was telling Juan he was having this issue in the FIFA widgets, and I told Juan, no, it's your emulator. Try it on the device, and obviously in the device it worked. So now you know, Juan, it actually is an issue.
Yeah, I think it's happening especially on Android O, and looks like Nexus Pixel and Xiaomi's pure Android. So I don't know why exactly those devices specifically. The thing is okay, we can live with that, but now when like previously we had a custom view for the top bar. Now we have an actual Android toolbar as a top bar. And on some devices, because of this rotation bug, I guess because of that rotation bug, some buttons disappear. So I don't know, I'm pretty much clueless and I don't know how I can fix it. I'm trying to, and if you guys have any suggestions.
I guess they are out of screen after rotation. So if you're going from landscape to portrait, they are out of screen, like somewhere over there.
Yeah, so Atanas just told me.
You had this in the button bar.
Yeah, like you had on the button bar. So this one I will check. It looks like a possible explanation. Yeah, okay. So that's it on my side. We have like 20 minutes left. Is there anyone that didn't talk that I missed? No. So should we? Anyone want to talk about something? Raise something?
Yeah, I have a question, a quick question, maybe not very related to Android, but whenever we are publishing plugins, there's a two markdown which we need to attach. It's like one is the like overview, like a short overview, and the other one is like guide.
What is the other one?
I'm not sure why we have to upload two of them. The one is overview or description, and the other one is guide.
What is Git?
Git.
Git? Like
GUID.
ah.
Guide.
I'm not sure, but I know that like there's some work on the plugins gallery that is being done. I guess it's related to that because soon the plugin screen will look different. It won't look like you're used to see it. It will be on the UI builder as a section, and it will have nice graphics, and so I guess it's related to that. But yeah, I can
You
check
don't
it.
know what to put where. I expect that description is a short description because what else it could be, and a guide is like long explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can check it, but and
Yeah, that would be brilliant. Thank you.
okay.
So now that Anna talk about publishing manifest of plugins, I would like to know what is UI builder support. I mean, this is a new field that SAP team added like recently, but I don't know what is it for. I mean, what's the meaning of UI builder support?
Okay.
It's a Boolean, by the way.
Yeah. So for now, what it means is for navigation plugins, you have two ways to add them. You can add them directly on the plugins screen, or you can add them on the navigation section of the app, like in the UI builder. It's a new one. I saw that Ran published it yesterday, so I guess it's open for all the apps. So this field means that the plugin won't be visible on the UI builder section. I mean, on the UI builder itself. For example, if you create a navbar plugin that doesn't support the UI builder and you don't want it there, it will filter it out. Like that's the purpose of this Boolean.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so it's quite confusing, I know, because for now it's only related to the navbar for the navigation. But I guess that in the future we will use it more in more ways because the plugins and the UI builder will be mixed at the end. I think that for now I don't think it will affect whatever you do. I don't think it will have any effect unless it's a navigation plugin.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So have a nice day, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.
Bye.